This is Support is Sexy, episode 229. Just start. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm so excited to have you here. You know, it just would not be the same without you. And you also know, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, I tend to share my dreams and my wants and my goals and all that good stuff with you guys as much as I can, or as much as comes to me in the moment, because, well, sharing is caring, but also because I want to put those things out into the universe. I'm a very big believer in that. You know, I'm all about the woo-woo. Put things out in the universe and they start to take shape and take form and things show up for you that you need and that kind of thing. One thing, though, I don't know if I have mentioned on the podcast before is my desire to be a public speaker. Now, of course, I speak publicly through the podcast, if you will, but I'm talking about on stage, in front of people, speaking and being a transformational speaker. Not really inspiration, not really motivation. Maybe there's some of that, but really about helping people transform their lives in some way or another, at whatever scale that is a need for them at that point. So that is a dream of mine. That is something that is on my vision board for 2017. That is something that is a part of my mission for 2017. My theme for the year is abundance. So that's part of that abundance for me in 2017. Really being able to get on stage, or whatever that stage looks like, right? Stage doesn't have to be a stadium, or it could. Stage could be anywhere, but in front of people, speaking, sharing my message of support is sexy. Having it all doesn't mean doing it all alone, and getting it out and in front of as many people as possible. So speaking is a very big goal of mine. Now, if you've also been listening to the podcast, you know that I am a huge fan of Lisa Nichols. I think she is one of the best to do it when it comes to public speaking, sharing her message, sharing her story, storytelling. She is a master at storytelling. I've read her books. I watch all of her videos. I listen to whenever she's on a podcast. I am all about Lisa Nichols. So if you don't know who she is, Google Lisa Nichols, Nichols. Be sure you check it out. I actually just did her Speak and Write to Make Millions seminar. I did it via live stream because it was in California. I'm in Atlanta right now. Couldn't make it out there, but it was so powerful, even via live stream. So I really love what she has created with her business, her story, and all of that great stuff. So one of the things that is part of my journey or my mission with becoming a public speaker is finding other masters. Lisa Nichols. I also love Tony Robbins, and there are a lot of other great speakers out there that I listen to and take note of how they speak and how they tell stories, how they engage their audience. All of that is part of my mission and my journey to become a public speaker, to do the thing I really want to do, especially this year with getting started and all of that stuff. Now, I shared all of that to say, clearly, if you can't hear it in my voice, hopefully you can hear it in how I explained it. I want to do this. I have an idea to do this. I have people who I look at in order to model their behavior. I have things in mind that I want to do in addition to taking courses and going to Toastmasters and doing improv classes. All of that, have it all in mind, ready to go. This is something that I want to do. So what's the problem, you might be wondering? I need to just start. All of these things that I mentioned are in mind: visualization, vision board, strategies, mission, people to look at who are masters and all of that great stuff. It is basically June of 2017, and I have not truly started doing this thing that is a big goal and a big dream of mine. Why? Because I am afraid that I won't do it right. And I've talked about this on the podcast. So, you know, we have to speak our own truth and our own problems that we're going through, even as we help other people. This is something that I realized for me, I just haven't started because I am afraid to do it wrong, or I'm trying to look at how, right? Getting caught up in the how, which you know we're not supposed to do. Don't get caught up in the how. Focus on the what, and the how will take care of itself. Come up with a plan, but the how will take care of itself. But I've been thinking about, how am I going to do this right? What should be my first step? And all of these things that I'm mulling over in my mind for months and months and months now. And it's been going on even before this year. But this year I decided to really focus on it as an extension of the podcast. But I really haven't started, and I need to just start. And that's the thing about allowing fear or anxiety, or really our imagination of what might happen, stop us from doing things that we really know we love to do, or that we would love to do, or that we want to do, or the impact that we want to make. Fear, anxiety, all of these things we allow to get between ourselves and our dreams, which is what I'm thinking. I'm allowing these things, resistance, as Stephen Pressfield talks about in my favorite book, The War of Art. Resistance is getting in the middle of me and what I want to accomplish, and I am allowing that because it allows me to stay safe and in my comfort zone and to not have to face that thing that I am afraid to do, and to really just start. And I really thought about this recently in the past couple of days, because I started talking myself through this. Like, what is the problem? You're thinking about this, you want to do it, you think about it all the time, you're doing the visualization, you dream about it. It's definitely something that's in your gut. And have you ever had that feeling? Something you want to do, it's in your gut, you know it's in you, the fire is there, you don't know who placed it there, what placed it there, or maybe you do, but you still haven't really started on it yet. You haven't done it. And by started, I mean taking action, moving forward, and actually doing it. Not the preparation phase, not the research phase. All of that is all good, which I have done all of that. But at what point do you start? At what point do you get out there? So I've been allowing resistance to stand between me and that thing. And I began to talk myself through all of that. And I said, you know what? I have to think about other things that I was afraid to do. And the way I got through it was I just started. One example that you all know of is the podcast. When I started July 4th, 2016, I had no idea what I was doing. And even though I had done the research, taken courses, as many things that I could find online, free courses, and all of these things that were available, videos, you can find all kinds of information about how to do a podcast. But until you just start, you don't really know. In fact, a lot of the information that I read about, once I started doing things myself, I started saying, oh, I don't really like that, or I don't like this way, or I want to edit this way, or I want it to sound this way. I wouldn't have been able to know that, though, if I didn't experience it, if I didn't just start. So I'm sharing this with all of you to say, what is the thing that you are thinking about? What do you have on your mind? What are you dreaming about? What did you say that you were going to do this year? And now here comes June, and you haven't started yet. You need to just start. Whatever that means, whatever that looks like, you got to do that thing. The preparation, all of that stuff, that can continue forever. Even with the podcast, I continue to learn things. I continue to change things. I continue to want to grow bigger and bigger. But that's because I started. Made the mistakes, kept it moving. Things messed up, kept it moving. Missed an episode, kept it moving. Whatever happens, happens, but at least it's happening because I am moving forward, because I just started. So for you, you got to get started. Don't let that dream sit there, because so much is happening in the world today. A lot of things have been happening in the world for a long time, right? Since the beginning of time. I just feel like so much is happening in the world today. People are dying younger and younger. Some are living older and older. But so many people are dying senselessly. And not to get too morbid about it, but life is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. You don't want to go to your grave saying, dang, I could have done that. What was I waiting for? Why didn't I just start? Why didn't I at least try? Now, if it's something that you're okay with letting go, I'm not talking about that thing. You know what I'm talking about. That thing that you've been thinking of, probably talking about, or maybe you've been keeping it to yourself because you don't want someone to say, you can do that. Just do it. Just try it. Here's a way. Because maybe inside you're not ready yet, or you're still afraid of that resistance. You need to just start. Think about all of the great ideas and inventions and all of these things that are in the world today. All of them exist because someone decided to just start. You gotta get started, do the thing, and then push through it. Learn as you go, and you can start with something small. It doesn't have to be going for the grand thing. That could be the vision. In fact, that should be the vision of whatever you ultimately want to do. And when I say grand thing, I don't mean size-wise. I mean vision down the road, the grand vision. But start where you are. My favorite quote, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, but you've got to get started. So don't let that dream die. Don't let that thing go, that thing that you've been thinking about. There is a way. And don't make excuses either. Oh, I don't have my logo yet, or I don't have my business cards, or I don't have my website, or I don't have, for me, the training to be a speaker, or I don't have this, I don't have that. Just get started. You can do it. All of those other things will come and you will learn in action. Just start. All right. So thank you all so much for listening. I hope you are charged up and ready to go out there and get started today. You know, I appreciate you guys so much for listening. You can go to supportissexypodcast.com to hear more episodes and to hear interviews with other inspiring women entrepreneurs. Again, I truly appreciate you being here, and I want you to go out there, get started today, and create something sexy. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.